have all, or at least most of us, have had breaking points throughout the course of our colorful lives. That point where we pause our very existence and reevaluate our positions. That point where we realize that we cannot continue growing bent on our sides because there's only but a speck of light sustaining us. And so, yeah, I created a visual just now, and I'd like to explain. So that bent on our side, having a bit of light sustaining us. When I was in high school, not many of you would know, but I loved biology. Loved biology. It was probably one of the only subjects that I would willingly study for. Like, now exam not fair come up, but me go home, go read my biology book. And I remember doing this experiment where we had a plant and we had covered it with a box, and so it was like some completely surrounded by darkness. But we decided to poke a hole in it, right? So in poking that hole, there was very little light coming through. And so at the end of the experiment, when we took off the box, we uncovered it, and we can see everything that's happening to the plant. We realized that the plant was actually bent. It was not growing upright, but it was bent to the side, growing towards the light. So we would have realized that, light is essential to the growth process of the plant. But because it was like completely surrounded by darkness and there was just a small amount of light coming in and sustaining it, we realized that the growth process was stagnated, it was stunted, and so the plant did grow, but it was not growing in its fullest potential, you'd say. It was barely hanging on, and it had tried reach the little light. And so it's like that with our lives. When we reach that point, we realize a little bit of light keep we realize we're surrounded by a lot of darkness. It's that point that we try to say, okay, maybe I should remove all that is hindering like light from coming into my life, remove things that is causing darkness in my life. And so it's that point where we are no longer willing to accept an ungodly way of living, a toxic relationship, a more than time, family, and God-consuming job, unhealthy relations with ones we should love, among other sin-ridden practices. So this breaking point usually represents a time for change and redirection. It is a time to begin removing all that was hindering the entrance of light into your life.